What's going on, people? It's your boy back, and this is not a reaction. This is just me talking. Now, I woke up today from a pretty decent 8-hour nap, and I saw that the first thing I saw when I opened my phone, which I got a message from the Samsung internet or whatever, that Spider-Man is no longer in the MCU. And I was like, holy shit. Well, it was a good run. That's the first thing. It was a good run for those companies. I said, from the get-go, I thought it was kind of stupid that they would even do a deal like this where they have to keep negotiating to keep a character in another universe or tied to another universe and then tie storylines and stuff to this character. At any moment, the contract could just end, but I guess you could say at the same time, they do that with actors where they have to sign contracts. But at least with actors, they have to sign at least with Marvel and like DC, they want people to sign multi-film deals in their overarching universe. So they kind of are tied to that unless they want to get sued. But in this situation, that's not the case. And when the contract and people really want to renegotiate, which is what we have here today. Now, I read up on this because first I wasn't even going to talk about it because normally I don't talk like this. Only it's either a gameplay, which I need to get on, like a bunch of games that I need to start playing, one I need to finish playing. But this is usually either a reaction to trailers, game trailer, any trailer, or reaction to TV shows, stuff like that. So, and I saw this, I was like, the last time I did something similar to this, what I was just talking, was my review. I think it was Infinity War. It was like one of the first videos I ever had on this channel. But anyway, I saw this, and I asked some liquor in my system, and I said, I'm kind of chatty. Maybe I'll talk about it. But anyway, I'm not picking a side here. So you clicked on this video thinking that I'm gonna sit here and pick one side. That I may ramble a little bit and go, and you may see that I'm going from one side over the other. But I'm remaining neutral. So, but I will talk about both of how I feel or how I think they feel about it. Both or why this is. Well, I know why it's happening, but why other things involved or why this is happening. So anyway, Sony, Marvel have a deal with Spider-Man IP. Sony owns Spider-Man IP, if you don't know this. Sony and Marvel have had a deal where Marvel gets 5% of the movie profits when Sony does a Spider-Man movie. So, and because they have Kevin Feige over at Sony as a producer, which makes sense because, of course, if this character in his universe that they're doing, Sony is tying in with, well, really, it's Marvel's universe. If you think about it, it's the MCU, and Sony is kind of creating movies off of this character that has already been in the MCU. Well, that is because his first came about was in Civil War. So, and then that's when Sony, they did Homecoming. So it's basically a character. Well, they both had inputs, of course. Sony having the final say, and think they own the IP, brought that character over and did movies with Kevin Feige's help to making sure that things still transition well between the two universes where it made sense. So now they had that 5% deal. That's the deal they've had. Now Disney has decided that their 5% is not enough anymore, and they want to renegotiate, which everybody does. I mean, you look at Robert Downey Jr. when he renegotiated. I think it was he was going to be in Avengers, and he wanted like $73 or $75 million now for the be in Avengers. He knew what I mean. At the same time, it's kind of dickish move to do that, but at the same time, from his standpoint, it made perfect sense. He's like, you're not going to recast me. I am the flagship character now of this universe. My movie was successful, and it was the biggest success. And I think at the time, before the Avengers, it was still the biggest success. I want to say. So he's like, no, you're not gonna recast me, and if you do decide to recast, you think that I'm being unreasonable, you decide to fire me and recast me, the fans are going to rebel. And he's, do you want to deal with that? He said, because I won't have to deal with it. You're gonna have to deal with it. So what they do, they gave the man the money. So, but they were kind of stuck between the rock and the hard place. And they were like, you know what? This is an investment that we're going to invest in Robert Downey Jr. and hope this pays out. And it paid dividends. They didn't recast him or whatever. So, plus, like, people in general, when you do a movie in a franchise universe, if you recast somebody, people usually get very upset. Like, if you're rebooting, people don't usually care that much. But if it's in the same universe, we're talking about recasting, people's gonna say, like with the Robert Pattinson and Ben Affleck thing, people are pissed. People think the studio should have bent over backwards for whatever reason for Ben Affleck to keep him in. Whether he wants, now we don't know exactly why Ben left. It could be, some people say it's multiple issues like his drinking. He wants to reconnect with his family because he had to go to rehab, and he was probably having issues with Warner Brothers and stuff like that. So all that confounded, and he left. Like people said something about Zack Snyder, he left because of all the issues that he was having with his family. His daughter committed suicide. He was having issues. The execs at Warner Brothers were not happy with the results they were getting from the movies that he was involved in, and they wanted him out. And then all that compounded, so he left. And it probably when his daughter committed suicide, that was it. The stress was just getting to him. He's like, I'm done. I can't do this. But for my sake and my family's sake, I need to leave. But I need to step away. But we have here, Disney wants 50% of the profits now from Sony movies. Sony was like, no, that's bullshit. And then Disney pulled Kevin Feige and pulled pretty much the MCU away from that Spider-Man. Like Spider-Man, like you have to stay over there. You can't play with my kids anymore. That's what MCU was. You can't play with my kids anymore, Spider-Man, and all your other freaky friends over here. We're taking everything back. And also, I was reading that Kevin Feige was going to have to stop producing, help produce Spider-Man movies over at Sony anyway, because now that Disney has grabbed Fox up, and they have a bunch of Marvel IPs. He's going to be busy trying to integrate those into the MCU, because for some reason everyone thinks that they're going to be I almost said Marvel versus Avengers, a X-Men versus Avengers in the next 2 to 3 years. Like, I don't know where that came from, but I guess they could do, but at least on their slate they didn't have anything like that. Plus, before the slate even came out, Kevin Feige was like, "Yeah, we have no plans to do anything at least 5 years with X-Men." So, and then people thought Wolverine was going to come out or have a cameo in either Infinity War or Endgame. And then I don't know what the fuck people think. Like the deal hadn't even been done yet. And apparently Disney could have been sued if they did that before they actually have the rights to do it. So I was like, that's not happening. They didn't have people confused and disappointed that it didn't happen. Even though reports that they can't do that. But people want what they want. But anyway. Yeah. So this is where we're at. Apparently Bob Iger and I forget the CEO's name for Sony, but they've been trying to come make a deal for about 7 months or something like that. Not 7, 8 months now. 7, 8 months to keep this contract going between the companies with Spider-Man IP. They haven't come up with one, so it officially came out that they're separating. They're legally cutting ties right now. They could go back to the negotiation table, but right now they're separating ties. Now I know a lot of people like they hate this. The first thing I saw this was on Facebook with my friends, and immediately you see people picking sides. Like, I'm with Disney, I'm with Sony type shit going on. Of course, and you see most people are on Disney's side, which I'm sure Disney knew. Disney is smart when it comes to this type of shit. They know, especially when the Spider-Man IP has gotten a boost from MCU. You can't debate that. Like the IP went down drastically because of Amazing Spider-Man 2. Now I thought Amazing Spider-Man was pretty good. Amazing Spider-Man 2, I thought it wasn't great. I think it was the worst movie ever, like a lot of people said, but it was not great or even really good. It was entertaining, I would say. I was entertained, but but I'm trying to, but the, but if I could talk, with Disney, like I said, Disney did give it a boost. The MCU gave it a boost. People want to see Spider-Man interact. Spider-Man is best known for interacting with other heroes and other people's villains' rogues gallery. Their rogue gallery. Like people, oh, Spider-Man's fighting Doomsday. That's not really his normal villain that he fights with. It's like, oh, so like Spider-Man's always been kind of known for that being. I think they said years ago that Spider-Man is the main character that has interacted with pretty much everybody across the board in the Marvel universe, or like in the comic books and stuff like that. And which you could think, if I think about it, it's pretty true. Like you see him, because Spider-Man's kind of like that everyday guy, even though he has superpowers. But I mean, he's kind of like the everyday man, because they push the whole thing about him being relatable. They're like, well, Spider-Man's broke all the time, just like most of our audience. See, isn't he relatable, everyone? And I guess like 99% of people who watch or enjoy Spider-Man might live paycheck to paycheck or on aid or something like, yeah, he's just like us. He can't get to the date on time, or shit like that. Well, he chooses to be the good guy or to do the good deed over his own personal, his own, not his own opinions, but his own personal issues or whatever. Like he'll choose to save somebody and be late for the girl of his dreams because he did. This is the right thing to do, even though he still is upset at the end. But this is the right thing to do. But now I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about it. I already rambled too much. Like I said before, I'm not picking sides. Disney, I'm going to talk about Disney. Disney, like, being part of us made you more profitable. Made your IP, Spider-Man IP, more profitable. Like, this is Disney talking to someone. So they're like, we deserve 50%. At least that's what they feel. This is, like I said, just like any actor who's like Henry Cavill, from some reports, they said that he's trying to get a increase in pay. Now, people argue, does he really deserve an increase based on movies, stuff like that? Robert Downey Jr. did that with Iron Man. He got a pay increase with Iron Man 2, stuff like that. But people argue that maybe Henry Cavill doesn't deserve it because Civil War, but Man of Steel is very polarizing, and so is Batman vs Superman, stuff like that. But anyway, and people say, well, he might not deserve that. But anyway, Disney's like, we think we deserve 5%. I mean 50%. Now because we boost your IP and you have the most profitable. Spider-Man Far From Home now is the most profitable movie that Sony has ever had. And they're like, yeah, we deserve it. Second, now I'm gonna talk in the fans' perspective here. The fans are like, of course, which I've seen a lot of my friends on Facebook say, they should just do this for the fans. Sony, and it's funny how they say they should do this for the fans, but it's not Disney just taking the 5%. It's Sony should take the 50% cut. That is because they're siding with Disney. It's like, well, Disney improved your IP, so they deserve 50%, and we align ourselves with them. So we say, yeah, you take the cut. Not even though, I mean, they're not Disney's not taking a cut. They're actually trying to just increase. Not like it's going from 5% to 4%. They're going from 5% to 50%. So people are like, no, you take the cut, Sony, because people like you were fucking up the IP before, and Disney had to come in and help. And even though, I mean, you could just argue that it was just the MCU in general. I mean, part of seeing Spider-Man interact with other heroes was refreshing to see. We haven't seen that in live action ever, so it was nice to see. So from the fans' point, they're like, hey, just think about the fans, fuck up the money, and just make a deal. Would y'all make either you have people saying Sony should just take the 50% cut, or Disney should just stay with the 5% people who are signed with Sony, or you have some people saying maybe they should just compromise and do like a 20, because that makes me think like nothing. Bob Iger says he's been doing this for 7 months or something, trying to negotiate. That makes me think, what if you're at 50% now, talking about a 50% split between the IPs as far as the movies? What was the percentage before? It took you 7 months. Like, did you negotiate down? Because normally this when you negotiate, usually people throw out a big figure. People are like, I can't do that, and you start negotiating. Everyone who has bought a car, like, especially a used car, you try to negotiate. They put the you have the price tag out there, and then you like, oh, I can't really pay that, and then they start negotiating and trying to take it down, and you start to, even though you might be able to pay it, but you say you try to get cheap, so you're like, I can't pay that, but and then you'll tell how low they'll go when they say, well, we can't really help you anymore, so then you can either take it or leave it. But that makes me think, like, how are you negotiating if you're at 50% now, or is this report, or the report like it started at 50? Maybe it's been juggling between 25 and 50. I mean, I would think they would say that instead of just saying 50. They're at 50%. Disney wanted 50%, and Sony said no, and they cut ties. Especially you talk about 7 months of negotiating, like, because then what else were you negotiating or putting on the table to try to counteract the 50%? Like, you still want the 50%, but you're like, well, we'll of the movie rights, but or like the money for the profit they make from the movie. But maybe they were saying, well, we'll give you 25% of the merchandising profits, because right now Disney owns 100% of the merchandise profits for Spider-Man. Like, Sony only has the movie rights. That's kind of the whole thing with all the deals they made with all those characters that Marvel sold off to keep themselves going bankrupt back in the day. They gave just the rights to make movies with these characters and nothing else, and everything else they kept the IP. I mean the merchandise, right? But fans are like I said, fans are saying somebody needs to either make a compromise, or one needs to just bite it and then take the other one's deal. Now, Sony's point of view, Sony's like, we pretty much put all the money into making the movie. They're the Homecoming and Far From Home. Disney had just, from what I read anyway, they just had pretty much Kevin Feige over helping produce it as far as like insight and input and stuff like that, making sure it flows right with the MCU. As far as I know, Marvel hasn't put any money into any of the Sony movies. And now you have Sony like, well, we have a 5% deal with you, and now you just jumped to 50, and we're supposed to be okay with it. Like, if I was Sony, I'm like, hell no. Even if it's profitable, like, you could think in the long run, yeah, the IP with Marvel will most likely still be profitable in the long run. Now, like I said, in the next phase, we don't know. Things might get shaded. We don't know, so we don't know the future. So, but at the same time, you want to go from, like you didn't even try to go. To me, like I said, you didn't even try to go from 20 to 20. That's 20%. Usually, you want half of everything that we make from this movie. So, like from Sony's standpoint, yeah, you helped us, but we still did all the work as far as making the movie, pretty much. Yeah, yeah. Like I said, I'm sure Sony. Like, yeah, you gave us a boost with that whole Sony deal. Not the deal, but that those emails that came out. Sony was like at least that movie part, or this the studio was suffering from, and not just because of Spider-Man, other stuff too. Um, and Marvel kind of helped them give them a boost with the having Spider-Man in the MCU. Now you can snap Sony. I'm sure Sony's like, yeah, you gave us a boost and everything, but 50 now you won't have because it's the same thing that Disney was doing with those movie studios, where they told the movie studios, yeah, uh, we want not half, I think it said 30% of the overall profit, because movie studios, movie theaters have to give a percentage of the profits to the studio. Now I don't know exactly what's up. I remember reading it said Disney wanted. I don't remember exactly what it started. Like it was 10% or something like that. But I know Disney said they wanted 30 now. They wanted 30% of the overall profits for their movies in movie theaters. And people like some people like on Disney side would say, well, yeah, Disney makes a lot of money, and you should want them in your movie theaters. So you give them 30%. And some people like that's kind of fucked up that you're now demanding because your movie's in the theater. You're now demanding they give you even more profit. They still have to cut profit with all these other studios too, unless you're talking about the majority of the theaters having mostly Disney related movies in. And then that's even more. Disney's controlling more of the entertainment department, entertainment like just entertainment in general, because now the majority of the movies in theaters are theirs because they bring in money, and that's the only thing that the theaters are thinking about is just the money. Then yeah, you could end up having like most of the movies in the theaters are Disney movies, and not any no indie movies, no nothing, no other movies are involved unless they like. But now the other studios have to be like the theaters. Well, you need to take a cut. That you need to lower your cut because you're not bringing in as much money as they are. And then it becomes dangerous territory if you think about it. Like I said, I'm not siding with either or. To me, I'm like all good things come to an end. Eventually, they was gonna have to reboot the MCU anyway at some point, and most likely it's gonna be in my lifetime. 32 years old, I said probably by the time I'm 50, they were probably gonna, and that's being generous, saying 50. They were gonna, that's like what, 18 years. They were gonna reboot anyway, so uh, they're gonna have to reboot anyway. So especially like you got Tom Holland. I mean, they're gonna have to do that. I mean, yeah, I say you might get maybe 10 years out of him if he stays. It then depends on because he has to age up into an adult. He can't be in high school forever. So we don't know if Tom Holland will still have his baby face. He might get 28 and then all of a sudden looks like an old man or like a 40-year-old man. Like people age weird sometimes. But like I know what Tobey Maguire, he played a teenage, but I mean he played a teenage for like the first 10, 15 minutes of Spider-Man. And then he was in college, an adult. So they did like I don't know if they did like a time jump, but he was in college. So I mean, he was a teenager and I think he was like supposed to be a senior. So he's like basically a teenager for about I don't know, about like it's 10, 15 minutes of the movie, and then he was an adult. So, but now they've had two movies, Sony movies with Spider-Man as a teenager. So eventually he's gonna have to age up. Like, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. I know that, like I said, like I said beginning, I thought this was a bad idea from the get-go. Cause like if anything happens, especially when Venom was successful, whether you like that movie or not, no matter. The movie was successful. That's it. That's it. You may think it was a fluke that it was successful. Whatever it could be, maybe the next one comes out. But the next one comes out and it's good. Let's say it's better than the first one. and it doesn't pull in a profit. I mean, would you really say that's a fluke? Especially if the movie, like, if audiences actually like it more, the critics like it more. Then you say, but the first one was a fluke, and but this one was better, but it didn't bring in the same profit. But you still have people who said they liked the first movie. It'd be weird to just call it a fluke at that point. You know? But anyway, like I said, I thought it was a bad idea for Gigo to have this IP, especially integrating it into your own, for Marvel to integrate it to their universe. Because at any point something could happen where Sony's like, we're done with this deal, and now you've integrated so much into the universe. Now all of a sudden Spider-Man's just gone, and now no one mentions him. It's like he just died, but no one mourns him. It's like he just ceased to exist. And then over in Sony's camp, they can't talk about Tony Stark. They can't. They had Happy in Far From Home. They can't talk about that. And I don't know if he was. Like, I haven't seen Far From Home, so I don't know if he was dating uh, Aunt May, or they just having like a little flirty little thing. But now, whatever that was, and then apparently the ending was like very integrated even more into the MCU. So like, now you're both kind of fucked. So you almost have to come up with a deal. Now Marvel will do a whole lot better because they still have a shit ton of characters and IP that they can go off of. Sony just has the Spider-Man IP that they now have integrated with Marvel that now they can't even use that anymore. And then I'm sure Disney was like, yeah, you may leave the negotiation table because we put 50% of it, but you know what? You know what's gonna happen? The fans are gonna be on our side, at least the majority of them. That's the way Disney is thinking. The fans are gonna be on our side. They're not gonna be on your side. They're gonna be on our side. And you think that, and you think that you're gonna be that people might start boycotting your movies, and not just your Spider-Man movies, just your movies in general, because we're Disney and Marvel, and people worship us. We can do no wrong. And just like I said, like when the story first came out, you could clearly see people with instantly on the Disney side. People weren't even trying to look at it from both sides. They just said, nope, this is because even some reports like Sony pulled Spider-Man. That's the report people read, and then people didn't read the article. So that it's all Sony's fault, you know. But I mean, it's both sides trying to negotiate a deal. Now, I will say, I would probably side with Sony a bit more because you talk about jumping from 5% to 50%. That's a big jump, especially when I'm putting all the money into something. Like, I want 50% of the profits for this, but I'm only kind of giving you, but you're going off of, like, I want 50%. Let's say you and another chain are doing a kind of like an advertisement type deal with one another. This chain is bigger than yours, much bigger than yours, and then you doing like a 5% different. Like, they taking 5%, and you're getting the other 95% of the profit from the advertisement. Anyway, they come back and say, we want 50 now because we're the bigger IP, and they start trying to throw this in your face, and we're the bigger IP, and people are paying more attention to that advertising because of us. And now we're jumping from 5% to 50%. Not even, like I said, if they would have probably said 15 or 20, Sony might have been okay. They might have been a little bit more they might have been more okay with that. But now you jump from 5 to 50 in a single bound, and you expect them to just be okay with it. Like I said, I'm willing to bet Disney did this intentionally. They jumped from 5 to 50 because I bet you they're banking on these fanboys to go out and start just either trying to downvote movies, like Sony movies that are coming out on Rotten Tomatoes and all that shit. Probably create Facebook groups to hate the boycott. So I'm willing to bet that they are trying to push. Disney is trying to push Sony a rock and a hard place. I'm be willing to bet that they do with kind of what they did with Fantastic Four, where they stopped selling the comic books. They're like, we don't want to advertise anything because we're not getting make any money off of the Fantastic Four movies, especially if you think that they're bad. You're like, that might be hurting out the IP. So like, why would we sell? And people might say, I don't want to buy the comic books anyway because I saw the movies and I don't like the movie. You know, because that might be their first taste of the Fantastic Four, and then you might go read the comic books if it was good. But since it's bad, I don't even want to read the comic books, so they're like, well, let's smother them, you know. And then eventually they sold out. Fox sold gave all their movie IPs and everything to Disney anyway. But they might start trying to cut off, like, or slow down more, Spider-Man, not merchandise, but like the comic book and stuff. They're trying to like smother Sony either into making a deal or either making a deal or just trying to sell the IP. Now, I don't know. Now, because it's funny because if Sony sells IP, the IP has gotten a boost from the MCU. So if it's gotten a boost from the MCU, now it's more profitable. Now Sony can charge more for the IP than they could when Amazing Spider-Man was out, when Spider-Man 2 was out. So now because of Disney, the IP profitability has gone up. So now if they try to buy the IP, now that Sony will be like, yeah, I want $10 billion for Spider-Man IP, because it's not just the what is worth. It's what it's worth in the long run as well. Like, oh yeah, right now it might be worth like $4 billion, $5 billion. Like, no, this could be worth potentially $10 billion, and that's what we want. And they can negotiate and everything. But anyway, that's what we had. This is going on way too long. Like I said, I drink and I start getting chatty. And I know I rambled. I'm sorry. This is just kind of raw reaction. I'm sorry I rambled. But anyway, let me know what you all think down in the comment section down below. What side are you on? Are you even on the side? You let me just kind of just like, shit happens. And we'll move on. Hopefully, they'll both be successful. But what do you think down in the comment section down below? Remember to like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe, and share. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.